Today we're going to be reviewing Yi-Sang's rupture-inflicting, charge-consuming E.G.O, and that is Dimension Shredder. Yi-Sang's Dimension Shredder is a Hilo E.G.O. It has a base of 20 and a positive 18 roll, does pierce damage, has attack of 1. Before attack, spend charge count to deal more damage, up to a maximum of 75%. On hit, if any charge count was spent, inflict 5 Dimensional Rift. We will cover that in a minute. And lastly, on hit, deal bonus pride damage by target's rupture multiplied by 10% of the damage dealt, to a maximum of 100. And after that, you reduce their rupture count by 5. So, if you're wondering what Dimensional Rift is, that's pretty valid. There's only 2 E.G.Os that inflict it, and both of them are Dimensional Shredder. So, what it does is you change the count of Dimensional Rift, which right now you'll be getting 5. So you turn that 5 Dimensional Rift count into 5 Rupture count at the end of the turn. And then you lose the Dimensional Rift because it's being converted. But all in all, it's a very useful effect. Or at least I think so. Now, the passive of this E.G.O is called Rambling Man. At the start of the turn, if this unit took no damage last turn, gain 4 charge count. But that's not all. After successfully hitting an enemy with lower speed, inflict 1 Rupture count up to 3 times per turn, which is great. You're pretty much getting 3 Rupture count for free and 4 charge count, which is amazing. Now, as per usual, your sanity will be costing 25 for any He, and your resource cost will be 3 sloth and 3 gluttony, which is pretty good because that's not that expensive for a He, all things considered. 6 resources, and equally split, so needing 3 of one thing and 3 of another is a very good way to divide it. I wish I could say the resistances were as good as the passive or the rolls or anything, but they're not. They're just normal. Fatal to Wrath, Endure to Lust, Ineffective to Pride, and Fatal to Envy. While corroded, this E.G.O's roll will change to a 42 and a minus 24 roll, which is very good because it's a He E.G.O. If you corrode a He E.G.O, you're most likely going to be rolling tails, so a 42 is phenomenal. And before attack, spend charge count to deal more damage up to 75%. On hit, inflict, if charge count was spent, then inflict 5 Dimensional Rift. On hit, inflict 6 Tremor. On hit, do bonus pride damage by rupture multiplied by 10% of the damage dealt, and then reduce the rupture count by 5. Maximum of 100% damage can be dealt. Yada yada yada. The same thing as before, except you inflict 6 additional rupture, which is alright, but the roll alone makes it good enough to corrode. Well, yeah, honestly, a very good E.G.O so far, and it doesn't stop there because the drip is phenomenal as well. The base is great, and the corrosion is great. Obviously, the drip is perspective based, right? But I think I can say it with confidence that most people would probably like this drip. So, that's going to be a whopping, like, no, I think that's a 10. I think that's a 10 for the drip. And for the strength of this E.G.O, I mean, does it even need to be stated? Having a whopping 42 roll on corrosion, having a 38 on base, but also being able to deal bonus pride damage, bonus regular damage, being able to inflict more rupture counts, that's all insanely useful. So I think I'm going to put the strength of this E.G.O at a very solid 10. And there's no questions about that in my mind. The usefulness. Honestly, this E.G.O can help you clash, but it's not that useful because, yeah, you're doing damage, but it doesn't really inflict much. It can inflict some rupture, but it also takes away count. Until you look at the passive. The passive pretty much fuels W.E. Sang by giving 4 charge count pretty much consistently every turn, and 1 additional rupture count on 3 times, 3 hits. So 3 extra rupture count and 4 charge every turn is not half bad. That is very good, so I think I'll put that at like 8 because it's just very good. It's just that good. Have to put it at an 8. Well, that's about it. The E.G.O is phenomenal. You should use it. It goes through rupture fairly quickly though, and it goes through your charge count. Although, once you use it, it'll definitely repay it by giving you more charge count and more rupture count infliction. So, yeah, honestly, a pretty self-sufficient and strong E.G.O. Yeah, have a good one.